For the first time, there may be another complicating factor in upcoming elections: artificial intelligence. It could play a major role in the 2024 election. Some tech experts are warning that the technology could change the entire landscape of campaigning, blurring the lines between what's real and what's fake. A scary thought. CNN's Donnie O'Sullivan is tracking all of this. Donnie, we're already seeing this used. President Biden came out with his re-election ad, and Republicans responded with this dystopian image where it wasn't actually images that were real, they were AI images.
That's right. We've been hearing from experts for months saying, we're going to see the use of AI in this election campaign. And the RNC really came out blazing last week with this ad, which had all these images, including these kind of stark images of the streets of San Francisco being shut down. It said because of the fentanyl crisis and military on the streets. We wanted to see what people thought of the ad. Would they realize that those images were fake? And we spoke to some people on the streets in Washington, D.C. Have a look. You might have seen this already, but I want you to watch it. It's a political ad.
Officials closed the city of San Francisco this morning, citing the escalating crime and fentanyl crisis.
Did that even happen? Did San Francisco even get shut down? Oh, okay. I was like, that didn't happen.
A recent ad from the Republican National Committee imagines a dystopian future if President Biden is re-elected.
And emboldened China invades Taiwan.
But all isn't as it seems. So all the images in that ad were actually created using AI, artificial intelligence.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So you can see that full piece on CNN.com where we showed the ad to more people. But importantly, you hear there that gentleman asking, did that even happen in San Francisco? And when you put that doubt in a person's mind, some person who might not even question it might say, wow, I can't believe that this is happening in our country. I will say that RNC had a tiny little disclaimer up the top that said this was all generated through AI, but we might not always see that. Really small, very faint.
Yeah, and the question is, what happens when there's not someone there to say, oh, it's not real? What if there's someone who's like, yeah, it's real, or doesn't even question it?
Exactly, and this is an area that's totally non-regulated right now. Of course, a lot of it comes down to the First Amendment, but there is one state, Texas, actually has brought in a law that in the immediate lead up to an election, some restrictions on how deepfakes can be used against candidates, but how that would actually be enforced remains to be seen.
Yeah, big concerns about the impact that could have. Donnie O'Sullivan, thanks for taking a look at this.
Joining us now is Democratic Senator Michael Bennet of Colorado. Last week, he introduced a bill that would create a task force to look at U.S. policies on artificial intelligence. And Senator, thank you so much for being here. Look, we had Steve Wozniak on yesterday, the co-founder of Apple, who is really warning against some of the dangers of AI. And he said to us, there needs to be regulation. What do you think realistically will be done in Washington, if anything?
Well, I completely agree that we need regulation. We have not regulated at all the massive social media platforms in this country. That has huge implications for antitrust, for example, but also for our kids' mental health. I used to be the superintendent of the Denver Public Schools. We are having an epidemic of adolescent mental health issues in America today. I'm not saying that's all social media's responsibility, but a huge piece of that is, and they've gone completely unregulated here. We need to have an agency in this country like the FDA, like the FCC, to negotiate on behalf of the American people, and that's why I introduced the first bill in Congress to create a new agency that could do that.
I read through it, and you talk about also having a task force, a real focus on this. Can you talk about what you think should be done specifically, in your opinion? A lot of people have been talking about something like a watermark. So at least we know that, hey, that Republican ad after Biden announced wasn't made by humans. It was made by AI.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Poppy, one thing I know is that I will be dead before Congress regulates this stuff in a way that's thoughtful and in a way that addresses the issues that we're facing. And that's why I think having an agency with experts in it, like the Food and Drug Administration. But let me just give you an example. Our kids are being tortured by these algorithms that the big social media companies design to sell us and to sell them advertising, to addict our kids to these social media platforms. That is something that the American people never consented to. Our kids never consented to it. And moreover, I think the American people have never consented to the economic relationship they have with the likes of Mark Zuckerberg and other people. So, and the kids in my old school district, they think their parents who are working don't have the time to negotiate with the big media companies and social media companies, and they can't rely on their student council to do it. So unfortunately, that actually means the member of Congress need to get their act together here and pass a bill that says that we're going to stand up and regulate this for the American people, just as we did for pharmaceuticals.
I hear you on social media. I'm incredibly concerned about it for our kids. But on AI, right, and this newest proposal by you, I was just going to ask what specifically you think could help the most right now, because we are on the brink of something extraordinary, but also frightening.
It just adds, I think it just adds a new dimension here, which is now we've got the social media being driven by machine learning and generative AI. And when you write to the big social media companies, it's the same folks that are pursuing this AI, and they write back saying, you know, we've got it covered, or maybe, or we don't really know. It just raises these questions. And I think in the end, things like watermarks that you suggested, understanding when AI is being used, making sure that in the federal government, when we're using AI, that we're using it in a way that's consistent with our civil liberties, with our civil rights, and with our privacy rights. None of that stuff has been thought through. So I don't think we should panic. You know, there's good and there's bad that's going to come from this, but I think we should have a thoughtful approach and an approach that's different than the way we've managed the social media stuff until this moment.
I know you wrote some of those letters to Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, also Satya Nadella, the head of Microsoft. They're going to be at the White House this week, so we'll see what comes of that.